Hello, people. Today I'm going to be doing a review for the new episode of WandaVision, Season 1, Episode 6. Anyways, we have... this is the Halloween episode, and so I figured I should take these guys out of the box this time because, they look like this at this episode, so decided why not. So, anyways, this was just another really good episode of the season. It's not as good as the last episode. I still think that Episode 5 is the best episode of the season so far. I just have two problems with this, and it's just I'm now starting to realize how I'm just not invested in the Darcy, Jimmy, and Monica Rambeau storyline. It's interesting, and I'm always interested when I'm watching. I'm just not invested. I don't care about any of the characters. I don't find myself caring about the magic guy from Ant-Man. I don't care about Monica. I don't care about Darcy, because whenever Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen are on screen, there's just such... You have one interesting show, but when you're watching the Monica Rambeau storyline, but then you have a really good investing Marvel show that's interesting as well. It's almost playing tug of war with me right now, because whenever we cut to the scenes with Darcy, I'm like, this is interesting, and I'm getting more information, but I'd rather be watching Wanda and Vision right now. And I think you guys know what I'm saying by that. Thank God most of the episodes are mostly based on, Wanda and Vision, so it's more of a side storyline at this point, which I'm happy that there is. I think Wanda and Vision need to stay the heart and soul of this show. And overall, this episode just kind of felt like a stepping stone towards the rest of the show, because I'm thinking since it's 9 episodes, 9 divided by 3 acts, so this just feels like the end of a second act building up to the third act. So it doesn't necessarily... It's definitely an important episode. They reveal a lot of new information. But overall, the show as a whole just feels like it's kind of waiting in limbo so we could get to those final 3 episodes. Let's get into what I did like. The expansion on what's going on exactly. By the way, I think everyone should just expect spoilers, because if you haven't watched the episode and you're watching reviews for it, that's kind of stupid. No offense if you haven't seen the episode yet, but I always make sure I don't watch a single video. I watch as soon as I wake up, WandaVision. And that's some advice that you guys should take, because you probably don't want this spoiled. Anyways, so spoilers from here on out. 3, 2, 1. The expansion on what's going on once Vision goes to the other parts of Westview, while Wanda kind of ignores him for a little bit, and she purposely does that, and then he does some investigating, and he sees these people are just staying still. It's kind of creepy. And the funny thing is, when I saw them staying still for the first time, I thought it was going to be a Quicksilver sequence. I was like, wait a second, are we getting a Quicksilver sequence? But no, we didn't get that. I'm like, okay, they're just all frozen. But it was pretty cool and eerie visuals with that. The ending of the episode, of course, where Vision gets out of Westview and he's being sucked back in. It's crazy, and the fact that the Hex, I think everyone's just calling it at that point, is just expanded and almost, I don't want to say doubled, but it's really expanded, and you get a really good shot of it at the end. It's low lit, we get to mask probably the crappy CGI, but anyways, it's definitely building up to be like, this is it. Like I said, I'm really happy that this episode just didn't push Evan Peters to the side. I thought the show was going to go oh, we got Evan Peters, but he's going to barely be in it, because I feel like that just might be the safest thing to do. But he was actually a genuine character. He was in the opening credits. He was in throughout the episode. He probably ended up having more screen time than Vision himself, which I was really happy to see, to actually dive in to see if this is exactly what type of Quicksilver are we getting. And it's very interesting to see what's going on. And the characters don't even know what's going on with that, so I'm just going to expect that to be answered later on in the season. Like I said, Vision's storyline with the frozen people was probably the most investing part of this episode. It was just so interesting seeing him go across all this creepy imagery with all these people just staying still. It's incredible. And of course, once he gets out of the border and he's being sucked in, it looks great visually with the visual effects, and it was really cool as well. I liked the way I felt like I was watching the 90s shows. From the second that the opening credits started going, it definitely felt like the 90s, like a 90s show. I like how this episode, Billy and Tommy felt like they actually had something to do before they were just kind of there. This episode, because they're starting to gain a little bit of their powers, it's very, very, very interesting. So I'm glad that they had something to do this episode, and they were just, you know, supposed to be there to be the little kids that just do their own thing. But anyways, it's still a very investing episode. I really did enjoy it. It didn't quite get there for episode 5. I ended up giving a 9.4. I did not give this episode a 9.4. In fact, I'm going to give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. I did really like it. And by the way, my scores changed. My scores have changed since I have scored them initially. So don't take these scores to heart, by the way, because I was going to say I first gave, I believe I gave the episode 4 an 8.5 as well. That I have moved that actually quite a bit. My opinion on that episode's quite changed because on these earlier episodes, you really can't. I really couldn't give them a definite score just because I didn't know the backstory behind it. But now I'm starting to understand all of this. It's like a movie. You can't really judge a movie by the first act. So I did it. So my scores for the first 3 episodes I've adjusted quite a bit. So I just want to let you guys know. So if you guys go look at my other reviews and say, wait, you like this episode more than this one? Wait, you thought this one was better? Oh, you thought this one was worse? Those scores are not accurate. And I will be doing a final review of the season once it concludes. So yeah, that's my review for WandaVision season 1, episode 6. Well, I'm only assuming we're only getting 1 season of this because I cannot see this going into a 2nd season. But yeah, so that's my review for WandaVision episode 6. So yeah, anyways, like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that, and adios.